This next story is called The Strongest Weakling in the World. Samson kills a lion. I want to marry a Philistine girl, Samson told his mother and father one day. A Philistine? The Philistines are our enemies. Why must you marry one of our enemies? Because I want to. Get her for me, Samson said. Samson was the strongest man in all Israel. No man dared to fight him. Even the Philistines were afraid of him. Even though Samson had the strongest body in the world, he was really a weakling in many ways. He was like a little spoiled child. Sometimes he wanted something that was not good for him, but he would not take no for an answer. If he wanted something, then he would have it. He was strong enough to get it, too. Samson's father and mother knew that he would marry that Philistine girl, even if they said no. So they decided to go along with him to the girl's home in Timnath. Samson went on ahead. Oh, he was anxious to see his girlfriend. But when he came near the town, a young lion jumped out of the vineyard and ran toward him. Samson didn't run from the lion. Instead, he walked slowly toward the lion, crouching down so he could fight. The lion crouched down too, and then it sprang at Samson, roaring loudly. Samson jumped aside and threw himself on the lion's back. And then he put his powerful arms around the lion's neck and began to squeeze. Suddenly there was a crack and the lion fell limp on the ground. He was dead. Samson had broken his neck. Samson jumped on the lion and began to tear it apart with his hands. When Samson had finished tearing the lion apart, he went on to Timnath. There his mother and father did all they could to get ready for the wedding, and then they all went back home. A few days later, Samson went back to Timnath, and on his way home, he stopped by the side of the road to look at the dead lion. But he was surprised to see something in the lion. It was a nest of bees. Oh, they built a honeycomb in the part of the lion which is torn open. Samson took the honey and began to eat some of it on the way home. He gave what was left to his father and his mother, but he did not tell them where he got it. The day of the wedding came at last. Samson and his father went to Timnath, where a big wedding feast would be held. The Philistines had 30 men who would be Samson's helpers at the wedding. I have a riddle for you, Samson told the 30 Philistines. If you can guess it this week, I will give you each some new clothes. But if you can't guess it this week, you will give me some new clothes. The 30 helpers agreed, so Samson told them a riddle. From the eater came something to eat. From something strong came something sweet. 3 days went by, but the Philistine men could not guess the riddle. On the next day, they went to see Samson's bride. Find the answer to that riddle or we'll burn your house down. We'll burn it when you're inside it, too. Ooh, Samson's bride was afraid. She begged Samson to tell her the answer to the riddle. If you love me, you'll tell me, she said. I haven't even told my father and mother, Samson answered. Why should I tell you? Every day, Samson's bride cried and cried. She kept on begging Samson to tell her the answer to the riddle. Samson grew tired of all this and told her the answer on the last day of the week, which was the last day of the wedding feast. Samson's bride hurried to tell the Philistine men. She was afraid they would burn her house down if she didn't. Samson was very angry when the Philistine men told him the answer to his riddle. My wife told you this, but you'll be sorry that you made her do it. The next day, Samson left Timnath and went to Ashkelon. There he killed 30 Philistines and took their clothes back to pay his debt. Here's your clothes. I got them from your own people, said Samson. Then Samson went home to his father and mother, but he did not take his wife with him. He was very, very angry at her. He did not even stop to see his wife. God had given Samson great strength to do many things, but Samson so often used his strength to do things that he should not do. Samson should have known that it is not enough to have strong muscles. It's much more important to let God use strength in a way that will please him most. Yeah, being strong doesn't mean you're the strongest, does it? Usually it's what's on the inside of a man, the Holy Spirit in him, that makes him strong.